What's going on, guys? Jacoborth back here with another video, Jacob's Life in Vegas, coming to you guys today with another video about water here in Southern Nevada, and I got your questions here to talk about water quality. Okay, again, those of you that live here, those of you that are going to be living here in the future, have these questions, these concerns. Again, Bronson Mack.
How's it going, YouTube?
He is back with us here with the Southern Nevada Water Authority. We're actually inside the lab right now, hence these, cool glasses we got on because we're required to wear them in here. So we're going to go through your guys' questions here about water quality in Southern Nevada, and we're just going to jump right into it with the first one. Is the water safe to drink?
Oh, that's a question we get all the time about the quality of our drinking water. Yeah, our water is indeed safe to drink. It meets or surpasses all of the standards that are established under the Safe Drinking Water Act. And the Safe Drinking Water Act is intended to ensure that the water that is provided by municipal agencies to you and to the public is safe for all of us to drink. And we actually employ a lot of scientists and chemists, and we conduct a lot of analyses on our drinking water to ensure that the water that is delivered to your home meets those standards. In fact, we take more than 30,000 water samples from throughout the Las Vegas Valley and Lake Mead, and we conduct more than 300,000 analyses on those samples every single year. And this is where we do that analysis, right here at the SNWA's Advanced Water Quality Laboratory and Treatment Facility. So here at this lab, we are constantly bringing in water samples. I can tell you that there were water samples that were being dropped off just as we were walking in. Those samples will go through the process of analysis. We'll be analyzing them for 91 different constituents and even some unregulated contaminants that we don't really have to test for, but we think that it's important as part of our mission to ensure quality drinking water that we know about those constituents. We keep an eye on them so that we can change our treatment processes if necessary, because it's very important to us that we ensure that the water delivered to you is safe for you to drink.
Okay, so the water is safe to drink.
It's safe to drink.
Established that. But one thing here that happens here in Southern Nevada, and just really it seems like in deserts in general here in the southwest part of the U.S., hard water, right? A lot of you have felt this when you get out of the shower, you feel your skin is dry, you notice the hard water we have. Why is that? Tell us about hard water, why we have it here.
Well, there are really two minerals that are in the water that make it hard. That's calcium and magnesium. Those are both two naturally occurring elements, but they get into our source water at Lake Mead as our water travels down the Colorado River. Keep in mind that our water starts as snowmelt in the Rockies, then it flows into the Colorado River, flows down into Lake Powell. The water sits in Lake Powell for a little while until it is released downstream to Lake Mead, where we get to use it. But in between Lake Powell and Lake Mead, there's a giant canyon. In fact, it's a Grand Canyon. And the Colorado River created the Grand Canyon, and in doing that, all of the sediment, all of the minerals, all of the sand and rock and everything else that eroded away from the Grand Canyon by the Colorado River gets suspended within our water. As we speak today, the Colorado River continues to carve the Grand Canyon, so that sediment gets picked up, carried downstream into Lake Mead, and that's where we get the calcium and the magnesium that gets suspended within our water. Now, it manifests itself when we use water in our homes, and then the water evaporates away. It leaves behind little white flakes or calcification, as it's called. And as the water evaporates, the minerals don't. So that's what gets left behind, the calcium and magnesium. The hard water can be a little annoying. It's an aesthetic issue, right? It can make our skin feel dry. It leaves those water spots. A lot of people in Southern Nevada choose to soften the water themselves at their home through water softening systems. I personally do not. I grew up here. I'm kind of accustomed to the hard water.
Right.
It doesn't particularly bother me too much. The good thing to know is that the hard water is an aesthetic issue. It's not a health issue.
Okay, so next question here. Does the transportation of plutonium affect water quality?
Plutonium. Wow, that's not usually something you associate with water, right? Plutonium, water, not a good thing. But just recently, there was some cases of plutonium being transported here into Southern Nevada. That could potentially be an issue from a water quality standpoint if for some reason plutonium was to get into our underground aquifer, could affect the Colorado River in some way. Keep in mind though that the Colorado River is a really, really large body of water. I don't think that there is any risk from the transportation of plutonium, at least not that we saw in the 1 or 2 occurrences recently, as having any impact on our water supply.
Okay, now let's get into one here. Now, we talked about standards a moment ago, but here's the question. It says the water district claims that the tap water meets or surpasses drinking water standards. So why are people buying bottled water?
Oh, why are we buying bottled water? It's really a matter of personal preference, I think. You know, I think also some of it is just our perception.
Right.
Some people think that you shouldn't be drinking tap water in general. Part of the issue there is what occurred in Flint, Michigan. You know, and what happened in Flint, Michigan was awful and horrible. And as a water industry, we do not abide by that. There are steps that are being taken to help Flint, Michigan. But just because we saw an awful occurrence like that happen in Flint, Michigan, doesn't mean that it's happening in every other community. In fact, I can really tell you that it's not. Because the standards are so rigid, because the state environmental standards are so rigid, water agencies really have to not only adhere to those standards, but we have to demonstrate that we adhere to those standards. Some of the ways that we do that is by providing analyses of all of the water quality treatment and testing that we do, providing that information to the state so that they have it from an environmental standpoint. So in that sense, it's as far as people drinking bottled water, it's a matter of personal preference. We spend a lot of money as a community on bottled water. If you look at your bottle of water, look at where it came from. Did that water come from California? So that means that water was trucked all the way to California. If you're mindful of your carbon footprint, that might not be water that you want to be drinking because it would have a large carbon footprint to it. You can buy bottled water sourced here locally. We have Sparklets here in town. We have other bottled water companies here in town that can either deliver that water to your home, or you can make that decision when you purchase water. But just know that it is a personal decision, and a lot of it is based on the taste of the water, not based on the safety of the water.
Okay. Now, another thing, we'll talk taste and we'll talk safety here. Someone said that they get sick from the tap water here in the Vegas area. And just your thoughts on that?
Well, I can tell you that I have not been sick drinking the tap water. I am not aware of occurrences of people getting sick in Southern Nevada drinking the tap water. That said, there are people within our population that have compromised immune systems or other health challenges. If you have concern about whether or not you should drink bottled water over tap water, we recommend that you just consult your healthcare professional. See what your doctor says. If your doctor says that you're okay to drink the tap water, and I can tell you most of them probably do. As far as my family goes, we drink tap water in our house. I made all of the bottles for both of my children using nothing but tap water. That had the support of my children's pediatrician at the time, but I also have very high confidence in our drinking water here and the quality of our drinking water because I have the inside knowledge on just what goes into ensuring that our water meets or surpasses the drinking water standards, which helps ensure that it's safe for us to drink. Keep in mind, the safety of the water and the taste of our water are mutually exclusive. Okay? So just because our water has a taste doesn't mean it's not safe.
Okay, so there's no correlation.
No correlation.
Okay, so the last part we'll go to here about water quality. A lot of people are worried because obviously the Vegas area is growing a lot. Lots of people moving here, and they may be worried that, you know, we won't be able to keep up with demand in the area for water and things like that. They might be worried about the quality going down because of that. So, I mean, are there plans right now for more treatment plants to come in the future?
Well, we have 2 treatment plants in Southern Nevada that treat all of our water coming out of Lake Mead. We do not have a need for a new treatment plant. The 2 plants that we have are state-of-the-art. We utilize ozonation as our first form of water treatment. It's very effective at killing any microorganisms or other constituents that may be in that water. There aren't a lot of communities that use ozonation, but they are starting to now because it is on the leading edge of water treatment. We also utilize chlorination. Our water does have sodium hypochlorite, which is a form of chlorine, in it. And chlorination is actually one of the greatest advancements in human health and protection of human health. It has reduced the occurrences of waterborne illness to almost nil. So you may notice a little bit of chlorine, either smell or even taste, within our drinking water. Just know that that chlorination is there to help ensure that that water continues to be top quality.
Okay, cool. I mean, this is one of the shorter videos in terms of the videos we've done on the water situation here in Southern Nevada, but nonetheless, a lot of you had questions about the water quality here, so I wanted to bring this video and bring this content to you and have Bronson come on and talk to us because he's got a lot of inside knowledge about this subject. So Bronson, thank you again for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me, and thank you, Jacob, for helping to get the word out, not only about water quality, but water conservation, water resources here in Southern Nevada. We appreciate it.
Absolutely, my man. So thanks, guys, for watching. I appreciate all of you checking out this channel, this video. Please subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I am Jacob. This is My Life in Vegas.